And hello, welcome YouTube. So this is a quick explanation or documentation about my template file Python module. Okay, so let's get started. So normally when you start your class development, just well, you can just pay attention to this part. You will have to define a class by anything you want, right? For example, your class is over here. Right, so that's what you have to do. So when we, let's say, if you want to import a class, what you have to do is from whatever file you have. So the file here is can be template file, or maybe instead of using template file, I can actually load my module1 .py. Okay, so let's go to my module1.py. It's the same thing, is what I made in the previous video. So usually I have to do import my from my module1 import your class. Okay, so this is what will happen. Okay, from my module1 import your class. Okay, and usually what we have here is this. It says this is the template class module. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the template class module. Okay. Right, I think I need to exit. Let me try again. How come it's still... Okay, anyway. Python 3 import. Yeah, import my module1.py. Okay, oh, right. Yes, I think my print help needs to change. It should not be a template class module. I should put the class name down here. Anyway, it's a good point to learn. I'll come back to that later. Anyway, yeah, let's go back to where we are. Normally what you need to do is from my module1 import my class or your class. Okay, and then you need to define an object. Your object is, okay, object equals your class, right? And then this is the constructor name for your class. All right, and then what happens? Okay, usually let's say we want to make a new function, my function1. Okay, and then the thing is here, just here to print, this is my function1. All right, I will need to get rid of this and replace it. Okay. All right, so excuse me. So usually what you need to do is you have to type from if you want to get my function1 to work, you cannot just use the object equals to your class again, and then object dot my function1. Okay, it will say your class object has no attribute my function1. What you need to do is usually to restart the Python console and then shut it down and then start it again. Then this my function1 will work. Okay, but the other way, of course, like I showed you in the last video, if you don't want to keep shutting it down and turning it on again, you can use the reload module. So what you need to do is you need to do import my module1 from import library import reload my module1. Okay, and then from my module1 import your class. Okay, then object equals to your class. Okay, that will declare the object, and then you finally can use your new function. Okay, this is my function1. So now you can see when I reload this, when I reloaded use the import library to reload, yeah, I'm able to reload the class instance over here. Alright, so yeah, what happens after that? Okay, so you notice that I have to type a few lines of code just to get this function to reload, right? So what do? Okay, what I like to do is to use another class to help reload this class. Okay, and okay, so this is partially what the test class here is for, right? Okay, partially what the test class here is for is to help reload this class. Alright, and this is what the return your object here function is for. Okay, I also use the import library here, but I use a slightly different form of this reload option. Okay, or in fact I don't really use the reload option at all. Okay, how I actually do this is to, okay, once I have the test class, right? Test class will have this constructor over here, and what the constructor here says is this: welcome to the test class. And then usually I won't change the name of this test class, of course, so I don't really change this. Okay, so I will import the import library and I assign it to as an attribute in this test object. And this test object will then have a function to make an object instance of your class over here. So over here I just assign import library from the self.import library. And what I do here is to declare a class object. Okay, you see your class equals to get attribute import library import module name your class. What is this? Okay, so well, let me tell you the story why I needed to use this get attribute function. Okay, it's a more complicated version of what I'm doing over here. Okay, or yeah, it's a more complicated version, or at least that's a very oversimplified way of explaining. Okay, the get attribute function. Oh my. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, something else happened. So yes, what this thing here basically does is this line, right? It is this line. It says from my module 1 import your class. Okay, great. Yeah, so why don't I just use this from my module 1 import your class? Alright, so the problem is this: when I want to develop a template file, sometimes the name of this template file will change, and more often than not, to use this template file properly, you will have to change the name of the Python module or code. And what happens if you do that? If you change this the name of this Python module or code, then you will have to well, every time you type I type this line out from my module 1 or from template module import your class, or from template file import your class, then I will have to change the code throughout this whole module several times. So that makes the template not so useful, right? So I was thinking, okay, is there a way to get the module name? Is there a way to get the module name and import it such that every time you change the Python Python module name or the Python file name, I can script it in such a way that I will use the file name, I will automatically import that file name, and after some good searching, this is the answer I found: the get attribute thing. So load modules dynamically in Python is the Google search you can look for. So it says here how to dynamically load modules in Python. This is how you do it. Well, I guess the place you can look is from realpython.com. I did a bit of Google search behind the scenes, and I see, okay, you use import library. Okay, So what import library does is that you can import the name of the module. Okay, you can import the name of the module, and you use the import module function under import library to import that module name. So, okay, again, what am I talking about? Okay, let me do some demonstration for you. All right, so I'm going to well, I can clear this screen, but I think I won't, or maybe I should. Yeah, clearing Python screens is kind of difficult, but I can just scroll up and down, which is convenient enough. So, okay. Yeah, so how do I do it? All right. So, let's see. Yeah, let's try to get the name of the module over here. How do we get the name of the module here? Right? So, well, we usually use this thing called the name attribute. Okay, if you look at this, the name. Okay, you print the name attribute, you will in the Python shell you will usually get this thing called main. Okay, however, if let's say if you print my module1 dot name, you will get my module1, right? So my module1 is actually a module, and the name of this module is my module1. Okay, so let me try to illustrate here. So if you want the name of this Python file, my module1, you will usually have to, well, if you go into one of the classes, one of the functions in that class, okay, you can usually get the name by the following method. Okay, okay, so so go to your class, one of your class, you can define a print module name self. Okay, so what's the print module name? You just print this name attribute here and save and close. All right, so I will also have, yeah. So I'm going to try and load this module again. Okay, so I'm going to reload my module1. This is the manual way. This is the way I show you. All right. So I'm not going to use all these advanced functions yet until I show you how it's done. Okay. I can't use clear. So yeah, what I do is I will reload the module1, and from module or my module1 import your class. Okay, object equals your class. Yeah. Okay, so this is your class constructor. That is something over here I did. Let's try the print module name. Object dot print module name. Okay, if we use object dot print module name, what we will get is the name of the module that this object was part of. So so this object, or rather, yeah, under this object, if you use the print module name, you will access this function called print module name under this class, which is your class, and this name attribute of your class will be actually be this my module1, the name here, right? It will be this my module1 name here. So let's assign this module name to let's assign this value to module name, print module name. Okay, so we can use the type to determine its type module name. It's a none. Yeah, it's it's a none type, because I did not even I didn't even do a return. Okay, so let me do a return module name and return name. All right, that's all. Okay, so we will reload this again. Reload my module1 from my module1 import class, and then declare the object using your class. Then module name equals to return object dot return module name. Okay, so if I do type module name, we will get a class of string. So this is a way we can get the name of the class or the name of the module. So now that we get the name of the module, how then do we use this name to reload the module? Okay, so the way to do this is, as you seen previously, we can, or rather, import the module. So we can import the module using this function over here. Module equals import module name, right? So so we can import the import library, and from import library import, well, actually we don't need to do that. We can just use a function from there straight. Module equals to import library of this module name, right? So we have a module name here, which is already of the type string. So import library dot import module, okay, and then you just type the module name here. Okay, and then the module will be properly imported. Of course, I think nothing else will be kind of put there. Alright, so that's how we do it. Okay. So how do you do the reload bit? Okay, how do you do the reload bit? How do you do the reload bit? Because we still need to reload the modules using a string. Okay, so the way to do this, well, if you scroll down, okay, if you scroll down here, okay, what I did is this. We will still use the import libraries reload, okay, but I will assign this module name, okay. Rather, okay, first thing first, we used a function to get the name of this whole module, okay, and that will change as and how you change the name of this Python file. So since we have the name of the Python file, we found out that the way to import the proper Python file using a string value is to use this import library import module function. Okay, and where does it then go? All right, you can actually this function actually will return a module. For example, my module over here. Okay, it will return this module into a reload. It will return whatever module you have here based on the name. So if the name is my module 1, so my module 1 will be the string of this here. But when you use the function on this string, you will get the actual module, my module 1, which is not the string anymore, it's a whole object. Okay, this object here in my module, this will then be a module you can properly reload. Okay, so let's see module 1 equals to import library dot import module based on the module name, right? Based on the module name, or maybe I'll type it more explicitly so you can see my module 1, right? So this is the string that we have. Based on using this name variable, you get this string, and based on this string, we can use the import library import module function to actually return a module for us. So this is the module 1. Then we should have no problem. Okay. So once you have module 1, we can actually just reload module 1. Okay. And that's how we do a proper reloading of the modules. So this is what this part here actually does. You can actually reload the modules just like that. Okay. And this module, this thing doesn't have to be the actual so-called what do you call that? This module here doesn't have to be the same module as your Python file, but instead, I mean, the Python will understand that when you load your actual Python file into this variable myModule, this myModule will actually be pointing, or Python will know that this myModule is actually pointing to this file that you're talking about. So it's a bit abstract, but just take some time to digest. But that's actually how I use the import library to import the name of this Python file, and then I return it to my module, and then I use that to reload. Since this is a module, I can actually reload. Okay, so take your time and slowly digest that. But all in all, that being said, that makes it such that when you use this template file, you will never really have to touch the workspace, because the workspace is kind of automated. Just follow the instructions, you will be able to load the workspace, and you will get your test objects, and the only thing that you need to touch is your class and of course the test object. Okay, so I use the workspace class here, okay, with automated reload functions. Okay, so the reload functions is under this reload classes, and this reload classes function will be run every time you do this get test object. Okay, so when I do a get test object, I will run the reload classes, and I will load this. I will declare an object using the test class. Okay, so I have we have a test object, and this will actually be a fresh instance of the test class after reloading. So every time you get a test object from the workspace, everything in the test class will be reloaded. And since the test class is reloaded, everything here will be reloaded as well. So when I reload the test class and I declare an object using this your class here, this your class here will also be reloaded, right? Because I haven't really reloaded this what do you call that? I have not used this workspace class to reload your class over here. Instead, I only use it to reload the test class, and this test class will then load your class. Okay, and then what else? Once you get the test class, you can use this as your driver file to play with the class however you like. Okay, so this is how I use the name attribute in your class to actually programmatically import the modules. Meaning to say, as the Python name file, the name of the Python file changes, the imports will also have to change, but there is a way to so-called keep track of the names. So what is this get attribute function over here? All right, so I went through, let's see. Okay, maybe I'll stop here. I'll continue more in the next video. If not, it gets too long. Thanks for watching.